Greetings, girl, and welcome to my world of phrasing right up to bat. It's the daisy age and you're about to walk top stage, so wipe your lottos on the mat. Hip-hop love this is, and don't mind when I quiz your involvements before the sun. But clear your court, cause this a one-man sport, and who's better for this than Plug One? Don't have to worry about me squashing other deals, cause they've already been squished. Freeze the frame of our moves the same, wish we can continue right behind the bush. You'll stay with me, I know this, but not because of all my earthly treasures, or regardless to the fact that I'm past the noose, but because
Alright, so sorry for the noise, I don't have my mic. Today's pretty simple. It's a Saturday, not really expecting a lot of golf. Just kind of going around looking at some course improvements that we did, making sure everything's good. We just had a bunch of snow, everything's melted off. The weather's starting to warm up. We're getting into cool season territory. Things are going to start growing. Soil temperatures are coming up. We get a lot of play, so we got to stay on top of things. And if we don't build a game plan now, we're behind the 8 ball. We have to strategize around the golfers. There's some construction going on around the course. A lot of things we have to take into consideration, as well as weather. This time of year can be kind of tricky this part of the country. It can still get cold. We might be in the 60s for a few days, and then suddenly we might see highs in the low 30s, mid 30s. So with that said, we have to take the appropriate actions at the appropriate times and not put our turf in a vulnerable position. Alright, so walking on the green here on 13, you're going to see a lot of bright green blobs, some gray spots, and you know, some remnants of geese. It's that time of year. This is a good time to identify POA. Our bent grass does pretty well, but the issue is whenever it's doing well, it's really hard to identify the POA and other weeds. This is a good time to identify any low cup scenarios before we core and top dress this spring. So what I'm out here doing is just identifying any issues we may have, things we need to plan for, because next week we're going to start doing pre-emergence probably. Kind of depending on how the weather goes. It's a little cold today, but it's been in the 60s. We don't want to apply too early, but we also don't want to wait too long either. So walking around the green, that's all I'm doing right this moment. I would identify any potential issues we may have running into the season, and just kind of verify our course improvements. We work through the winter the best we can, but for example, you get spots like that, now's the time to identify this. Don't wait until the grass is growing. So one of the first things you can do when the weather's starting to warm up is work on drainage issues. Here's an area where a lot of water funnels downhill, and we traditionally don't have enough water movement, and the zoysia tends to get waterlogged here. And what we need to do is improve the drainage. So sand can move about 3 inches per hour, pure sand. Gravel is about 19 inches per hour. So what we have to do is figure out how much water we need to move, how much sand we're going to need to do it. So what we did here is we created a 4-inch wide trench, and we filled it with sand. The trench is about 8 inches deep, and all it's doing is funneling water down to a drain. The idea is pretty simple. But the issue ends up being, the first time you fill it, it's often going to wash out. You can tamp it and it'll settle, rain on it, it'll settle some more. So you'll have to fill it a few times. This is a great time to do this. The grass isn't growing, so you're not disturbing any of the turf really. You're able to work without just, disturbing anything else, and you're not going to be really in the way of any play. Any low-lying areas can benefit from this too. I have a machine that'll sand inject or gravel inject, but in this scenario, it's not really great for it, because what we're really trying to do is just create a invisible ditch, so to speak. Similar to a French drain, this will essentially function the same way. The grass will grow into the sand. You'll never know it's here. That's the benefit of doing it this way. With gravel, it's a little trickier. What I see a lot of is people will dig these trenches and they will fill them with gravel, throw a little, a couple inches of sand over the top of it. But what that doesn't do is settle very well. That sand will start to filter into the rock, it'll settle more, but they do that because gravel drains better. The issue is you just covered it with sand, so you're not getting that full 19-ish inches per hour for gravel. Those scenarios are typically left for, we have no other option. Drain tile maybe is not ideal in that scenario in some places. Whereas here we have a French drain off to the side of this, and this goes to a drain tile. So we're able to funnel the water because of the natural contour and get it to a drain pretty simply. We don't have to get too carried away with it. So all I'm going to do here is kind of fill it in, tamp it down, and then I'm going to level it out, tamp it down some more, and I'll show you the finished product. Product looks like. For the most part, it's blended. I tamped it down. You can kind of see the outlines towards the hill here, but that's not a big deal. We'll have to go over it again at some point. It all funnels down here to this drain, and then we have a creek that runs right there. So everything runs downhill, obviously, and you have to be mindful where those places are, how they collect, and how to divert the water without disrupting too much. It's really easy to do that this time of year. There's no grass covering up the water. You're not running your irrigation. You don't have anything to worry about. This is the time of year to focus on those little details, because getting the water out of this area here is it's crucial, because we got to mow this. When you get a mower out here and start sliding on this hill, you run the risk of damaging the turf, and that's not what we want. We want to be able to mow this, make it look good, and also not have to worry about, causing any conditions to harbor any fungi or diseases